All right, everyone. Welcome to today's very special episode of Is It Prophecy here on Israel National Radio at Root Sheva. And the show is syndicated as Messiah Hour on YouTube. Go to YouTube and type in Messiah Hour with Ari Lewis and check out the program. We have a lot of great episodes with Rabbi Yosef Mizrahi, Dr. Gerald Schroeder, Rabbi David Katz, and much, much more. Our guest today, this is a very special treat. I've interviewed him several times on my sports show, and very happy to have him on. He's known as the Jewish Jordan, been on the cover of Sports Illustrated, and played professional basketball here in Israel, and we're going to hear his story. He has a great product that I want everyone to know about, so please welcome to the program Mr. Tamir Goodman. Tamir, how you doing out there?
Thank God, Ari. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Now, I know you were in Cleveland for a while, and then you're back in Israel. You moved back here in August. Tell us a bit why you decided to make Aliyah.
I always wanted to live in Israel and raise our family and our kids here in Israel. And even when we went back to America and we were in Cleveland for 5 years, we were always committed to moving back to Israel. So it's just a great honor. Every moment in Israel is so special, and we're very thankful to Hashem that we get to raise our kids here.
Yeah, certainly it's a good thing to be here. And I know interesting Israel connection. When you were in Cleveland, you met up with Omri Caspi, who's Israel's first basketball player to play in the NBA.
Yeah, Omri's a great leader of the Jewish people, and he is a great ambassador for Israel. And I'm glad that he's having a great season right now with the Sacramento Kings. But before he went back to play with the Kings, he was playing in Cleveland while I was living there. And we had the same agent, so we were able to connect pretty quickly. And it was just very special to forge a relationship with Omri, run a lot of basketball camps with him, do incredible programs, all based around influencing, positively enhancing young kids' lives and connecting them to Israel and to their Jewish roots through basketball. And it's just such a great era that we live in. The fact that there's somebody in the NBA that's just so proud to be Jewish and so proud of Israel that kids in this generation get to grow up and watch him and learn from him. And I'm just thankful that I was able to have an opportunity to be part of it.
It was an interesting relationship that the two you have, because you were a trendsetter and that the first Orthodox Jew to play in college basketball, wear a yarmulke, and he's the first Israeli to play in the NBA. So was there a natural bond just because the two of you did something special in terms of basketball and in terms of Judaism?
I think there's a natural bond in that, yeah, we were very passionate about Judaism and basketball. I think that, when we met in Cleveland, we played against each other here in Israel. But we were never really, we just shook hands at the end of the game. But I knew very, very soon that he was a very special player, because I remember his rookie year here, how great he was at such a young age. But when we met in Cleveland, that was the first time we actually got to sit down and talk for a long time and spend good time with each other. And we just had so much in common, Judaism, basketball, a lot of the same coaches, a lot of the same teammates. And I remember the first time I came to watch him play at the Cavaliers game, it was a fan giveaway night, and the players were giving gifts away to some select kids. And just the way that Omri gave the kids the gifts before the game, he didn't just give it to them. He really made them feel really good, which was so obvious even from where I was sitting. I just felt that he was very passionate also about helping kids and inspiring many people as possible. And it was, like I said, it was just very, very fortunate to be able to do a lot of incredible programs with him.
And speaking of the Cleveland connection, I know you know David Blatt from your time at Maccabi Tel Aviv, and he's the coach of the Cavaliers now. Omri's not on the team this time around, but LeBron James is. And when we spoke Saturday night, I know they had a 9-game winning streak. Tell us how you think the Cavs are doing and how David Blatt's leadership has helped Cleveland so far.
Yeah, I'm so happy for David Blatt. I was lucky to be at the press conference when he took the job for the first time, and it was I think one of the main pictures of the press conference was him giving me a big hug, and that just shows who he is. That he just makes his players and former players and anyone that's ever been in touch with him feel really good. And I feel like that's what coaches are there to do, to help their players reach their potential on and off the court. And I think that David Blatt is a master at doing that. He handles pressure very well. He is a great game time coach. He makes great game time decisions, but he's also a leader off the court. And I think that's really helped the Cleveland Cavaliers. I believe their winning streak right now is at 11 games, and I think a lot of it has to do with the type of person that David Blatt is and the type of coach that he is. And I'm very happy for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I'm very happy for David Blatt.
There's another trendsetter talking about what you did, what Omri did, and David Blatt, the first Israeli to coach in the NBA. So is this a sign that we're going to see more things like this to come? We'll have more of a Jewish influence in the game of basketball.
I think so. I think that, back in the day, Jewish people had a very strong influence on basketball. None of us would have been able to accomplish what we've accomplished if it wasn't for the athletes and the coaches before us who paved the way for us. But I think that we live in a very unique generation right now that it's a little easier right now to be proud of being Jewish and to be proud to be connected to Israel. And I think that because we live in this special generation where people respect that more, we're probably able to influence even more people to be proud of their heritage in whatever field that they're involved in.
Again, we're speaking with Tamir Goodman, the Jewish Jordan, here on Is It Prophecy on Israel National Radio, Arut Sheva, and the show is syndicated as Messiah Hour on YouTube. Now, Tamir, you gave a great speech on Motzi Shabbat at Chabad of Baka. I want to thank the Chabad of Baka for having you there because that's where I got to see you this time around and set this interview. And I wanted to talk about the college experience that didn't occur with Maryland because if my calculation is right, had you been to Maryland, you would have been on the 2002 championship team, and you gave that up because of Shabbat observance. So any thoughts as far as, that's what you wanted to do because you would have most likely been on the team that won the championship, but you sacrificed that to give for Shabbat. So tell us your feelings. I'm sure you feel that's the right decision, but tell us about that.
Oftentimes people ask me the question and they say, if you just would have been willing to play on Shabbat, you would have been part of that national championship team. And my response is that every year the championship team gets a ring, and every year they need to make a new ring. It changes every year, and the Shabbat ring lasts forever, and it never needs to be changed. It's an eternal blessing, and I'm glad that I chose the Shabbat ring. Because it is the source of all blessings for the Jewish people, and I have no regrets on my decision. I have no hard feelings to the University of Maryland either, and I think everything worked out for everyone in their own respective ways.
Now, then after Maryland, you went to Townsend, and you have a great story that you told regarding a tournament where you couldn't play on the game on Friday night, and your teammates did something very special after the game. So please tell us about that.
Yeah, I was very lucky. It was a big miracle that Towson University managed to change the schedule for me so that I was able to be on athletic scholarship without having to play on Shabbat or any Jewish holidays, playing Division I basketball with my kippah on. And it was a great season that we had there. I was lucky enough to be a starter, and we won more games than they won in, I believe, 11 seasons. But when it came postseason and we were trying to get into the big dance, our conference semifinal game came out on a Friday night, which meant I couldn't play. But if the team would win without me on Friday night, I'd be able to play in the championship game, the third and fourth quarter, because Shabbat didn't end until the third quarter. So I decided to stay at a hotel right across the street from the arena instead of staying with my teammates at their hotel. And that way I would be able to find out if they won or lost on Friday night. And if they lost on Friday night, the season would be over. If they won, I'd be able to play on Saturday night. So I stayed in the hotel with my father on Friday night, and all of a sudden we heard a knock on our hotel room door, and when we opened up the door, we were completely shocked to see that it was my entire team, it was my teammates, and they stopped the team bus. They didn't go back to their hotel, and they just said, "Hey, Tamir, we want to let you know that we won the game for you, and we won the game for Shabbat. We respect so much that you didn't play in the biggest game of your life." And that was the greatest sports moment of my career, I believe, because my teammates were probably hungry, they were tired, and they had to get ready for the championship game, which was the next day, but yet they stopped their bus and they went out of their way to find my hotel and my hotel room and to tell me that. And I can never thank them enough for that type of respect and sportsmanship that they displayed that evening and throughout my entire freshman year at Towson University.
So how does it feel to do such a major Kiddush Hashem? Really, that's kind of the definition of Kiddush Hashem, that a Jew does something that stands up for his religion in front of the Goyim, non-Jews, lighted to the nations, and they really respected that. Do you find that in general, when you adhere to your religious beliefs, that non-Jews tend to respect it?
100%. I think that every person in their own way has the ability to make Kiddush Hashem in their own field and where they are. where they find themselves in their unique journey in this world. For me, even at a very young age, I just had this dream of wanting to play Division I and professional basketball without playing on Shabbat. And I'm so thankful to Hashem and to all my teammates and my family and friends who allowed me to live out my dream and to try to make a Kiddush Hashem as many times as possible.
All right, again, we're speaking with Tamir Goodman here on Is It Prophecy on Israel National Radio, Arut Sheva. Now, Tamir, I want to talk about your relationship with the Lubavitcher Rebbe. That's something you spoke about Saturday night as well. So tell us about your meetings with him. I know you were a young child, but what were some of the things that he said to you and inspired you with?
I feel very, very lucky and very blessed to have grown up. My father, my parents used to take me to Lubavitcher Rebbe for dollars. Also went to Lag Bomer Parade as a kid at the Lubavitcher Rebbe's Lag Bomer Parade. And anybody who has ever walked past Lubavitcher Rebbe or spent some time with Lubavitcher Rebbe will know that it's an unforgettable moment, because when you spend time with Lubavitcher Rebbe, he would just make you feel like Hashem has blessed you with a special mission in this world, and make you feel so special, and almost make you feel empowered that you can do what Hashem is expecting from you to do in this world. And for me, that was just, I'm so lucky that I grew up in that type of atmosphere where I felt like empowered for my mission, based on the teachings of the Lubavitcher Rebbe, and that every single person could bring holiness into this world through their unique talents and blessings. And for me, that just happened to be basketball. And I feel very blessed that I always tried my best to play for something bigger than myself. And that was the Jewish people and for Israel. And that helped me to never be satisfied if I was successful. And if I was off track or messed up, it always gave me like a path where I need to get right back onto that track. So, that was like the core of the blessing for me in my basketball journey, growing up that way, and just being supported by a very, very strong Jewish family, and just growing up in that type of atmosphere.
Was there ever times that you're playing with your yarmulke or get sacrificing for Shabbat that you thought, I really shouldn't be doing this, meaning I've sacrificed so much, is it all worth it? And then you would hear something the Lubavitcher Rebbe said, or you would think back to your background and thought, no, I have to be strong and do this for myself and for the Jewish people as well.
Yeah, there were times where I'd be playing in a game and there'd be a lot of people, cheering something about my kippah, or, and then just like something would like pop in my head, and just like, not that I would, but it would just be like, if I just took off my kippah,
right.
it would just, maybe it'd be so much easier. And then a teaching of the Lubavitcher Rebbe would just say, or something would pop in my head and just say, look, you're doing the right thing, just keep doing what you're doing, and God willing, everything's gonna be all right. And that's definitely happened throughout my career.
Now, one of the things I also want to talk about is when you played professional basketball in Israel. Talk about that experience, because that was one of your dreams as a child, to play professional basketball, and you got to do it in Israel. So how special was that for you?
Every single day driving to practice was a dream come true. The fact that I could play professional basketball in Israel was just absolutely incredible. Every single second was a huge blessing, and I'm so thankful that I got to live out my dream here in Israel. And we're just lucky. I just feel very lucky that I was able to grow up in a time where that was possible, because for thousands of years, Jewish people weren't able to do that. And I'm thankful that I grew up in this generation and was able to live out my dream here in Israel.
And also, in addition to playing basketball in Israel, you served in the military and the IDF. So tell us about that experience.
Yeah, I'm a certified armor personnel carrier mechanic in the Israeli Army. Being a part of the IDF was a great blessing for me, and a great experience. And I was also lucky that I was able to be the coach of our base, of our basketball team, and we had a lot of success there as well. So I think like my main two dreams growing up were to be a professional player and also to serve in the IDF, and I'm thankful that I was able to do both.
Now, you've invented a few things. Before we get to Zone 190, I want to talk about your tzitzit, because I talked about this a few years ago in my sports program. I find it very interesting. So tell the audience what exactly your tzitzit brand is.
Yeah, basically when I was playing professionally in Israel, I used to play with my tzitzit on, and I found that after the games, I'd either have to buy a new pair, or they couldn't handle, such high performance activities. And I decided that I would like to invent high performance tzitzit that could handle, athletes or soldiers or anyone enduring really hard work. So I invented the line of compression fit high performance tzitzit called Sports Strings. And basically, Sports Strings has an inner layer that's patented in America and in Israel. The inner layer is made of moisture wicking and high performance material, so it absorbs all the sweat off your body. So the outer layer, which meets the halakhic requirements, does not get ruined during physical activity, and it just feels super comfortable because it gives you a much more range of motion. It's compressed to your body, and it's also features UV protection and anti-odor material. So I was thinking to myself, a lot of basketball players, football players, soccer players, everyone's wearing these high-performance compression fit shirts underneath their jersey. So what if we could create tzitzit that would be able to do that, where they could compress your body, absorb all the moisture, and then have the halakhic kosher tzitzit, and it'll just feel as one incredible sports garment. And that's what Sports Strings offer the wearer, and it's been extremely successful, and we've been receiving incredible feedback from all over the world of people that have been wearing Sports Strings tzitzit.
So I really like that idea. How did you come up with it? Where you played basketball one day and you noticed what happened to your tzitzit and thought, I've got to make a change? If you tell us how you came up with this idea.
Yeah, I noticed that during my career, the standard tzitzit that I was wearing, they just weren't able to handle it, and I was playing full time, so I didn't have the time to do it. But as soon as I got done playing, I went for it, and now, thank God, IDF soldiers, athletes all over the world, even just people going for jogs or working out on a daily basis are wearing Sports Strings and loving them. And I even have a U.S. contractor that's stationed in Afghanistan that ordered 2 pairs, and he said how much he loves them and that they hold up even in this really strong sun there. So it's been a great product, and like I told the rabbi when I was trying to figure out a way to make them kosher, I said, it says in the Torah, "Va'asu lahem tzitzit," like go out there and make it for them.
Right.
I think that we were able to do what Hashem's asking, in that we personalize these tzitzit in a way that Va'asu lahem, we're making it for them, for this generation of people that are involved in athletics, and it's been an exciting project and a very, very, very holy project. And I dedicate each pair to my father of blessed memory, who passed away. And when my mother saw him in the hospital, the last thing he was wearing was his tzitzit, because the doctor, even though he wasn't Jewish, he just for some reason he just left my father in his tzitzit, and so I dedicate every pair to him.
Wow. Amazing stuff. Again, we're speaking with Tamir Goodman here on Is a Prophecy on Israel National Radio. Now, during your college career, again, there was some difficulty with Maryland and Townsend, and then everything kind of turned around for you with the Zone 190, your project with that. Tell us what Zone 190 is and how Townsend and Maryland kind of helped you with that, even though they kind of hurt you somewhat earlier in your college career.
Well, Zone 190... Zone 190 came to be after I got hurt here in Israel. My career was over and I was injured, and I was in an open gym, and I thought to myself, I could either be really, really sad, or, that my career is going to be over, or I could take all the information, all the data, and everything I know about basketball, put it into a device that'll help the next generation of players. And that's what I did. Zone 190 is a multi-angle pitchback. In other words, a standard pitchback gets you the ball at a one-dimensional angle, but what I've learned through my basketball career is that you need to be able to catch the ball anywhere on the court and be confident regardless of where the ball was passed to you from. So Zone 190 is a 190-degree pitchback with defensive hand configuration, so players can replicate getting the ball at game-like angles just like they would in the game, and then either work on their ball handling, passing, or shooting, or conditioning. Everything that's really expected from you to do in the game, you can work on with Zone 190. And just for me personally, many of the obstacles and challenges that I've gone through in my career help me think of Zone 190. And now circling back around with some of the challenges that I've overcome throughout my career, some of the coaches or players, Zone 190 is kind of like reversed all those challenges around, because some of the same coaches or incidents and things that were challenging for me throughout my career have now been completely turned around because of the respect that they have shown for the success of Zone 190, which is now being used in the NBA, top NCAA, and elite high schools across America.
All right, and if people want to get Zone 190 or look at it, find out more about it, and the CT, where's the best place they can go to?
For the TT, they can go to TamirGoodman.com. For Zone 190, they can go to Zone190.com. ZONE and the number 190.com.
Okay, and the last question we have for you, I understand that you're doing some work with Hapoel Yerushalayim, so tell us a bit about that special project.
Yeah, I'm now doing international development for Hapoel Jerusalem as well. And with the new arena in Jerusalem, it's just very exciting because Jewish people all over the world are connected to Jerusalem. And they also love basketball. And to use that new arena and the shared love of basketball and Jerusalem to create good through basketball is kind of what I've been blessed to be able to do through Hapoel Jerusalem. We bring in groups, bar and bat mitzvahs, basketball camps, clinics, speaking engagements, kind of rebranding the team through the new logo of the Jerusalem Lion and the new arena. We just raised the money for a corporate luxury suite at the arena for IDF soldiers through Yashar L'Chayal. So every home game we have a group of soldiers, IDF soldiers, that get to enjoy watching the game and eating incredible food from one of our luxury suites. We have a great new ownership and a great new staff and great players. They're all committed to doing great work on and off the court. And anything you would like to learn more about our programs, you can go to hapoel.co.il.
All right, great stuff. I'm glad everything's going well for you, Tamir. Glad you're back in Israel, and thanks for being on the show today. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Ari. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Be well. All right, that was part one of Is It Prophecy here on Israel National Radio, Root Sheva, and the show is syndicated as Messiah Hour on YouTube. Go to YouTube and type in Messiah Hour with Ari Lewis and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Email me, messiahhour@gmail.com. We'll have more on the other side of this break. This is It Prophecy on IsraelNationalRadio.com.